Hey there, guys, gals, fans, and pals. Your buddy JohnMegacycle. Another episode of OpenTTD tournament done and in the books. This one is the FIRS, F-I-R-S tournament. If you're not familiar with FIRS, it adds, let's actually open up the NewGRF. You can see exactly what it's called. It's called the FIRS Industry Replacement Set. Now, I tried with 5X. There was a 5X version available, but that did not generate properly at all. So we went down to 4.4. I believe it's the version that we went with. So 4.15.1 it says right there. If you're not familiar with FIRS, what's really cool about it is it adds a lot more complexity to systems. So instead of just taking coal to a power plant, for example, I'm just making an example here. What you could do is you could bring engineering supplies or industrial supplies to the coal power plant to increase its production. And what allows that to do is it greatly increases how many trains and everything you need going on for everything. So for a farm, you could bring farming supplies and it produces more stuff, and that means more stuff goes to a factory to a stock house makes food goes to it adds a little more complexity. A couple more industries, actually more different industries, I'll say. So you'll get a good grasp of it as we get into this thing. So let me read off the rules real quick. This was also voted by the community for a long map. So this is 128 by 1,000. Normal trains, normal boats, normal aircraft, normal trucks, normal loan, normal time and duration, everything. So everything cool there. You've already seen the new GRF that we use. First name towns, additional landscape costs, and FIRS. That was it. For scripts, we actually have something new. The dude came up with something called the company tracker, and you'll see exactly how this works. It itemizes a couple of cool things as people are playing the game. So I believe it's company value, number of vehicles, profits, etc. You'll see it. It's very neat. Anything else really? Highest company value. That's normal. Let's go ahead and get started with the stuff. This is the summary video. All the passwords have changed. Also, all these are local, so it doesn't... the first one is for Gill Games. Let's see what they got going on here. The Loop X. I like it. Before we even get started, I'm going to just get their company value written down, and then we'll get going out with that. 784 million. My word. Let's get that. 7841... we'll just say 784 million. That seems fairly straightforward on that. Very cool. So let's take a look at everything that we've got going on. And then what we'll do is we'll do the company tracker. We'll do everything. So first of all, a grand overview of what they've got going on, right? This map, as you can see, as I mentioned, it was 128 by 1,000. So this was very long map, right? So this makes a lot of sense for a lot of these train networks to be like this. You have a main thoroughfare on the outsides, right? And then you have all the interconnected bits in the middle. That makes a ton of sense. So let's just take a peek. Let's just get started and take a look at what's going on here. Lots of passengers. Ooh, how does this one work? Tons of coal. Are they using coal? What do you have on you? Oh, engineering supplies. That's actually very, very smart way to handle that. So let's take a look at what I was talking about before. We have here a coal mine. And exactly like I said before, the coal mine produces a certain amount of product as is. Let's say it's 200, 300, 400, whatever. If you want the actual coal mine to crank up to enhanced production or gun-ho production, which are the two levels, you need to provide engineering supplies. Now, I handled this a different way on my run, but I really like the way this was handled. Buy aircraft makes perfect sense. It's very easy. It's direct. You can set up a timetable to say, only ever want you to deliver one of these every month or something. So let's see, was there a timetable? Stay for one day, not timetable. Okay, you don't have to use a timetable. What a timetable does is it helps balance, I only want you to come here X amount of times. Now, other games handle this differently. A really great example of that is Industrial Giant 2. And I mentioned 2 specifically because they added this functionality from the first Industry Giant 1 game. What you do is you say, I want you to go this route. Go here and pick up toys. Go here, drop them off. I want you to do this once a month. I do not care how long it takes for you to get there. If it takes you a day to get there and a day to get back, do this one time. So that's kind of what timetabling is. Again, it's not necessary. It's not that big of a deal, whatever. But this was very smart, a very great way to generate a ton of extra product. So that's one of the functions of FIRS. What I'm also going to do is I'm going to open up the industry chains, and you get a bit of an idea of how this works. So select industry. This is all the new stuff. So it's not just the regular stuff you're used to. This has all different stuff. There's new things like the hotel and the general store, which can be drop-off points for goods and food, or even passengers. Coal mine is going to go to a steel mill. Steel mill will accept coal mine, iron ore, junk to make steel. Now let's talk about that. A steel mill, let's go find one. A steel mill is going to ask for all 3 items, not just the industrial goods or whatever. So let's just go to a steel mill. This one looks very busy. Let's go ahead and click on this guy. So this steel mill is gung-ho, crazy production, maximum production rate because all 3 things are supplied. So the more advanced stuff takes a little bit more effort, but this kicks out a lot of steel. So it's not just one piece of iron ore to one piece of steel, for example. It's very much enhanced. Yeah, absolutely. So that's a really good example of that. What's another really cool thing about FIRS? Turning down the music is really cool. A cool thing about FIRS. What this really does is this pushes a lot more volume. The player has to be a lot more capable when it comes to dealing with a ton of freight. You're not dealing with a coal mine making 100 or 200 or 300 items. We're talking thousands of stuff. So we got some stuff going on here. This is probably oil, right? I'm seeing some oil train coming on here. Oh, it's alcohol. Okay. So we have a lot of this going on. Oh, this is making farm supplies? This is making... Oh, wow. Tons of stuff. Now, where we saw the steel mill and the coal mine, this is also... So it'll either be deliver X amount of cargo at least once every 3 months, or it'll be, I need everything, right? So that's kind of how this works out. So this is where the production is being sent for all the farming supplies, most likely, and the engineering supplies. So that's where that's going. It's also providing chemicals. Chemicals go to somewhere else as well. Yeah, just tons of stuff. This mode is really cool with this new GRF, because what happens is this becomes, like I said, a volume problem very, very quickly. So let's go on to the Loops storybook. This is the company annual info. This is that company tracker I was talking about. One of the cool things about this is this displays not only the company value year to year, also income, also cargo, also population of every city on the map, I believe, and also vehicles they've got going on. So you can kind of see what Guild Games was up to as they were playing and how they were progressing with steady gains year after year after year. When it was ending, they were making 100 mil a year. That's very impressive, right? So this gives you a nice little overview of everything, the amount of freight they're pushing, and everything. So, like, for a city builder, the population numbers might be a little more poignant, but still, this was really cool. Very nice. Yeah, thanks again go out to the dude for getting that cleaned up, for getting that all set up. They were a really big help with that. Really appreciate it. Let's see. Any other really tight points? What is going on here? A lot of transaction and crossover stuff. Yep. This is pulling from a couple of farms here. What do you got going on? Milk. That makes sense. I actually didn't get into milk, and you're probably doing livestock. Yep. Absolutely. Good stuff on that. Building these little mini... So here, I'll show you what this does. So what Guild Games did is they built another smaller station. By holding control, you can link stations to each other. And this way, Matthew Heights and Louisa North can actually hit both of these and still be completely different stations. They don't have to have multiple stations bringing to a regular station. It just works out really nicely that way. What other really cool interest points we got? What is this pink thing? Probably a stockhouse? Oh, a metal workshop. Nice. Steel chemicals produces goods. Same thing. For maximum production, supply all cargoes at least once every 3 months. That works out very well on that. Oh. I got a fan. I found the fan. Very cool. This is probably... Okay, so what is this doing? So this is doing the milk thing. This is most likely bringing farming equipment. Yep, farming supplies, yep. That's how we get that maximum production. So what are we looking like production-wise? That is a stupid amount of livestock and a stupid amount of milk. And that makes a lot of sense for why Guild Games' trains are as long as they are. Yep. Let's also take a look at shared orders. That's something I like to do. So we're going to group by shared orders. Descending. This is most likely steel. 100% this is steel. Yeah, there is just so much volume. This is pretty normal. Even in my run, I had to beef up my network a couple of times, and I was like, you know what, I'm just going to separate it. I'll just run different networks, and that's one way that I kind of handled that. But yep, this is kind of normal. You want trains coming in and out, in and out, in and out very, very quickly. Absolutely. So these are bringing in probably... Yep, this is bringing in steel. Steel turns into... Oh, where does the steel go then? Let's take a gander at where you're going. Sandra Woods. Yep, this turns steel and chemicals into goods. And then the goods are being sold where? Ladia North. Okay. Solid distance? Yeah, solid distance. That makes some really solid money. Absolutely. What else is there to really talk about? Take another quick gander. I think I saw a lot of ships, right? Is this bringing fish? I'll never get the audio right on this game. Louisa Docks. This is taking fish for food. I don't see... There must be another ship that's taking the food somewhere else. Lisa Lakeside, maybe? Nope. What is this one? Louisa Docks. Anywhere where it's Louisa Docks. Lisa Lakeside. Yeah, it doesn't say full load or what. Yeah, here we go. Vlada Docks. That's where the food is being brought, and food is being used here in the port. So this can get really complicated. Let's talk about like how to attack this. The way I attack this, and maybe the way to keep it the most sane, is pick an industry and run the whole industry. Don't get super crazy about doing multiple ones at once. We can see that happening here where Guild Games has really pushed on steel. So here's steel, a very strong steel presence. Their trains are making a boatload of cash. This might be their highest score since we've been doing these tournaments. I'm not sure, but I think so. And FIRS really allows for that to be a thing. Just a lot of volume, a lot of trains. Yeah, man, this is nuts. So how many trains did they walk away with again? Let's go ahead and do that. Let's see here. 325 trains. That sounds about right. Yeah, it absolutely sounds about right. E. Musk. Oh, very good. Okay. Yeah, I don't know if there's anything else that needs to be said here. Very impressive run. Yeah, that's a really high-ranking run for sure. And then here's, yeah, you can see the congestion map. For sure, where that gets all really, really messy. But that happens. That happens. So, excellent run there. Let's go ahead and kick out of that. Next one is the Dude. Let's take a look at what they got going on. Wow. What the heck? Is that intentional? Let's go bowling. 3.5 billion. That's our first billion. Get that jotted down. 3.5. I guess since we're using million as a standard of measure. No, that sounds dumb. 3.5 billion. That is incredible. A lot of aircraft. So what's the deal with all these others? Huh. I wonder what the play with that was. 23 rail pieces? Oh, wait. I have an idea of what that is. Oh. I found the thanks, John. Ah, they're all different colors. Yep, that was my thought. So they're all different colors from all the different companies. That's interesting. What an interesting take. I like it. No arguments, no complaints. Okay, so as you can see here also, right, a very strong highway-like system pushing all the way down. That is exactly what you have to do to move all this freight. Very sophisticated rail system here as well. Lots of built-up towns and cities. Oh, let's check out their tracker. This is the one we care about. So you can see here the number of vehicles, the rise in cashy money and everything. Yeah, very, very strong play, which is what we usually expect from the dude. 360 million a year. That's insane. Absolutely crazy. Absolutely crazy. No notes. No notes. But again, it's a nice little thing. You can see the consistent ramp up. About 40,000 goods year after year. 20,000. You can see it all there. It's actually really cool. Yeah, that's insane. Let's see. We got the company numbers. Let's do shared orders, and then we'll go to the rest of everything else. So here's our big guy, and it is also, spoiler alert, steel. My goodness, I'm not really too sure how to visually debug all this, but that's okay. Something that I've also noticed here is maybe some of the smaller runs, like farm to stockyard, are very, very short. You make the big money on the higher products anyway, so that makes sense to me if there's going to be a lot of little runs like that. Let's see here. Very mature towns literally everywhere. Yeah, we'll check the map again. You can see how much of the map is absolutely just consumed by the towns. Yeah, my Stephen and Gerald did not get nearly that big. But still, yeah. Let's see here. Let's grab maybe a few train orders and see if there's anything interesting there. Full load any cargo, full load any cargo. Interesting. I wonder how that works. Does it... It must have drop off. It must drop off the passengers, right? These are passenger? Oh, these are mail. I kind of thought that this would be like, well, I'm already full, so I'm not going to drop anything off. So maybe that works out really well. Maybe it drops off first and then says, what are my orders? Oh, you want me to load stuff? Okay, I'll load stuff. That could be it. Yeah, with this much passenger action going on, that makes perfect sense. So they also had a lot of aircraft. Is all of this being used for just passengers? Yeah, it does seem that way. Let's take a look at their aircraft. Bar and grill and rooms. Yep, passengers. The bar, grill, and rooms is definitely going to be a hotel of sorts. Yep, very good. I don't think they used it like Guild Games when it was their equipment, using the farming supplies. Mail. Yep, that seems to be the case. What we could do is we could also sort these on shared orders. That'll give us a little bit more of an indication. All cargo types. Let's say engineering supplies. Oh, looks like there is some. Or maybe it's sorted by engineering supplies. Yeah. That's what it's sorted by. That doesn't necessarily mean it's there. So what we could do is we could sort by passengers and do it like that. What do you have? Passengers and mail. Okay, that doesn't help. So I was just going to not worry about that. Very interesting stacker setups here. Yeah, very cool. This is loading to a steel mill. The exact same thing as the other run, where supplying all the things will give you much more enhanced production. Yeah, that works out really well, I think. I'm always afraid that multiple products are going to collide. So, like, when it comes to a farm that produces two things, I don't want one thing to overtake the other, so I split them off into separate either I use checkpoints, or I'll use something else to kind of break them up. Maybe two different stations entirely. But this works out really well. I would assume. How many trains are here, even? A lot of trains. Man, I'm amazed that doesn't get busted, that doesn't get crowded up. Because I think that would get jammed very, very easily. But what can also happen is, as long as you're moving, you're good. Actually, let me take back some stuff. This is all Alice Furnace and Alice South. Alice South is what's making the steel. So this actually works out well. This can drop off as quickly as it can. You won't get a jam up. Now that I've taken a look, I didn't notice Alice South here. So that works out really well, actually. This can drop off coal, iron ore, and scrap, and it's only ever going to stay in the station for a moment. This is only picking up the finalized steel, and that's how that works. So that's the breakup I was trying to say there, but I didn't realize Alice South was a part of the conversation. What is happening here, my man? Okay, let's walk through it. Coal, iron, scrap. That looks like a coal car to me. Scrap metal. Fine, fair enough. Some hopper of some sort. Then what are these guys doing? Full load, unload, and leave empty. Alice Woods to Alice Coilery. Where in the heck is Alice Woods? Okay. Steel. So you're picking up steel from Alice Woods, which is embedded in here somewhere. Yep. Every other is Alice Woods, and let me guess, every other is Alice Coil. Okay, so it's picking up and dropping off. Okay. Where is this thing? Okay. And what are the trains doing here? They're bringing more stuff. So all this steel is doing is maybe boosting this metal workshop? Maybe that's all that's really happening there. And it's just picking up and dropping off. A truck is literally bip boop, bip boop, bip boop. And then when it gets all the way to the end, it reverses. Same deal. Man, that is complicated. What the crap? And these are picking up goods, right? Yeah. Oh, actually, we're going to see... This is the same thing as before. So here's how this works. We talked about this a couple times, but I'll bring this up again. In case this is your first time, welcome. My name's JohnMegacycle. I host these tournaments, and they're quite fun. The way in which this works for these orders is the train is going to one station, picking up goods, going to the other side of the world, dropping off goods, and picking up goods again in very close proximity. So Kayla Annex, this is where it's picking up goods. It's going to Stevens... Oh, it's just a waypoint. It goes to Alice Heights, which is here, drops off. Goes to Agatha Waypoint to go to Kayla Sidings to unload and leave empty. So some of that... unload and take cargo. Yeah, so goods are being stashed here. Even though they could be sold. That's interesting. I wonder how when making the goods, it's not being delivered here. Man, that is complicated. Very cool, but complicated. Yeah, alright. Fair enough. The reason for this is, and we've talked about this before, but yeah, like I said, I'll go over it again. For passengers, it's easy to make sure you're making money 100% of the time. going from town to town to town. Let's just say, for example, we have from here to here. Train picks up, train drops, train picks up, train drops, train picks up. It's going back and forth always with cargo. That means when you have a train like here, bring cargo from one side of the map to the other, on the return trip, it has nothing. It's bringing nothing else with it. So what's important is to make sure that it's got everything it needs both ways, trying to make sure it's full. Again, the dude is accomplishing 90, 95% here. It's not going to be 100 all the time, but it is very, very close to that. I mean, it might be 100% all the time. What else to talk about here? Sophisticated rail networks as usual. I don't think there's anything else really. Yeah, really huge swaths of rail cutting up and down the thing. That makes sense. Oh, there's all the there's all the headquarters. That's really cute. Man, some of these towns are insane. Okay, yeah, I don't think I have anything else to discuss on this one. Let's go bowling for 3.5 billion. Freaking incredible. Alright, next one is Cyberpsycho. Let's see here, number 3. You are right, that is the wrong password. That is not the password for that server. There we go. Okay, Psychotic Transport, let's go ahead and take a look at the got. 1.5 billion, that's incredible. So 1.5 B for the billions. Not bad, not bad, not bad. 217 trains, a bunch of road vehicles, ships, and aircraft as well. We'll have to take a look at that. First of all, let's check out their storybook. I like the storybook. I think it adds some good value, right? So you can see, yeah, near the end, they're making 135, 137 million a year, which is pretty dang impressive. I'm really happy with that. That's cool. Everyone always does so well on these tournaments. It's very neat. And being able to go and, like, really pick apart everything. So let's also talk about that, is after we have the tournament, if anyone has videos they want to share of their runs, I add it into a playlist so you can see exactly how everyone did. I also do this summary video, and then I open up the servers to whomever wants to kick around everyone's builds, everyone's orders, everyone's schedules, everyone's everything. They can really take a look and see what's going on with everything. It's very cool. Oh, found it right away. Boop. Oh, they did it with train depots. That's cool as hell. Oh, that's really cool. Oh, man. I don't know how that even became a tradition. I think Cyberpsycho might have done it first, but it's really cool to have that be around. So again, really thick rail lines, right? That's everything going around. Wow. That is a city, metropolis, megatown. What's it called? Oh, it's just called a city. I thought they got to metropolis level, but I guess not. Still, very, very cool. Let's take a look at some shared train orders. These look like goods to me. Yeah, let's take a look at you. Yucatera North. Oh, wow! What is this, a metal workshop? Yeah. 5,000 crates of goods. That is so much... Man, that is just so much product. That's insane. Oh my gosh. I don't even know how to comment that. Then it's gonna go to Nancy Woods, which is a very nice distance. Yeah, it's literally other side of the map. So that works out very, very well. Well done there. What else do we have? Yeah, that is a majority of everything. So even ending at 1.5 billion, with that being the thing, that's incredible. Any other really big points? Yeah, here's a steel mill for sure. Steel is too good to not get into. And we've got, yep, a coilery here. That's going to make the coal. Coalery. A coalery and a coilery are two separate things. I mispronounced it. I said coilery. Like you're making wire coils, maybe? That is a stupid amount of everything about that, that's for sure. Okay, sorry about that. Bit of a sneeze. Whoa. Moving on. What else do we have? Beautiful station layouts as always. Yeah, breaking this out. I use this in my gameplay as well, and I learned that from CyberPsycho very neatly. We have... Let's take a look at the train compositions as well, because these are using the double-headed guys double stacked like that. So that works out pretty well. What is the distance of these? 24? I kind of figured that would take just ages to unload, but it looks like their stations are correctly spec'd. So that's also something to talk about. For new players especially, when it comes down to it, is make sure your station is as long as your longest train that you plan to go there. Because what's ultimately going to happen is if the train is too long for the station, the train takes ages to unload. Absolute ages to unload, and it sucks. So whenever you're building out a station, make sure the train is not bigger than it. So you can see smaller train, small station, right? Easy. So when you actually make a new train, it'll tell you the length. And when you build a new station, it'll also tell you the length. So make sure you have some uniformity there. So even these longer trains works out really well. CyberPsycho has planned it all out. Very neat. Very neat. Yep, also some passenger work, mail work going all the way around. Very good stuff. CyberPsycho does not shy away from using trucks. I honestly, in my personal gameplay, I just don't use trucks anymore, really. So here's a good example of something we talk about almost every single tournament, and it's a really important point to note. Why the multiple bridges? If you take a look, there's only 2 here and 2 here, so why 4 bridges? Well, the reason for that is you can't signal on the bridges themselves. You can't signal on bridges or tunnels. So it's really important for throughput maintenance is if a train comes in, they blocked the whole thing. Can you see? You might be able to tell it's really dark right here. The darkness is what's claimed in the block, and it helps for visibility. Same thing here. This block is claimed right there. So what happens is, if you have 2 trains, they get here, the second train has to just stop if you only have 1 bridge. But now they'll split out and they'll fan out a little bit better, and it works out really neatly. The longer the segment, the more of these you're going to want. I'm not saying slam like 20 bridges down or something, but this can really help with throughput, especially for short trains that eat up the entire block with not a lot of volume going through them. Big trains obviously too, but it really helps for smaller trains that would just be like, I guess I'm only pulling 2 things, but I guess I'm waiting. Yeah, stations like this are very, very impressive. Man. Yep. I can just look at that and just be like, damn, all day. Anything else to discuss on CyberPsycho's run? Aside from the gigantic Lotta and Nancy towns. Decommissioned. Okay. Neat little labels. Can I see labels like that on the map? I don't think I can. No, not really. Okay. Fair enough. Well done, CyberPsycho. Billions. I didn't think we'd ever get to billions, and we're getting to billions. It's very interesting. Cinder Elm Creek is next. Let's see what they got going on. Pilkington and Co. Pilkington and Co. Honestly, hundreds of millions is still really impressive, too. So this is 300, let's call it 360M. Not too shabby. A bunch of trains, a bunch of road vehicles, and a bunch of aircraft. Very cool. Let's take a look at their storybook. Storybook didn't work on this one for some reason. Okay. Weird. Totally fine. Lada and Nancy, massive towns. Just massive towns. Coupled with airports, yeah, you're going to be set on passengers and mail for a very long time. Just a super duper long time. Yep, starting to see some really good growth here as well at a metal workshop. Supplying both things, getting a lot of product out the door. Absolutely for sure. Ooh, some tunnel action. Interesting. Yep, lots of stuff connected. A very straightforward gameplay, which is not a problem at all. I like it when it's straightforward. This is going to, of course, John Furnace. John Furnace seems to be one of the more popularized furnace spots. Being almost right in the middle of the map, I'm kind of amazed. Yeah, you can see. So it's right here. Yeah, right about in the middle-ish. I'm amazed folks were using that one as much as they have, but they have, and that's all there is to that. Works well. Let's take a look at a few of the other junction spots. Cinder Elm Creek also not at all afraid to use trucks, which is good to see. Yeah, like I said, in my play, I don't really use trucks. Looks like okay. This I think it might have been built here and then rebuilt here. I see some of the connection points still left over. Not a problem at all. Looks like solid work connecting everything to everything. Oh, thanks, John. Hey, I found it. Yeah, you can't see those on the map unless I'm really not understanding how that works. But yeah, found it. You are welcome. Everyone is welcome. This is so much fun to do. Nancy looks very nice, very stacked, very cool. Lots of population there. I used a similar junction like this for, was it my FIRS run when I did this years ago? I played it as a single player, and I really enjoyed that too. I did City Builder with FIRS. Oh my gosh, that was a lot of fun. But it was the same problem as I'm expressing now with everything. You need tons and tons of steel. You need, or whatever, you need tons and tons of whatever, and it's just so much volume. It's insane. It's just insane, man. I did notice a couple of aircraft. Let's see what's up with that. Passenger, right? Passenger just straight up. Yep. Under normal circumstances, it can be difficult to use aircraft in a fun way, considering the cost for upkeep is like $500,000 a year, which isn't terrible. But especially when we play on games where it's like, oh, you can only have 8 aircraft, or you can only have 12 aircraft. It can be a little difficult to make sure you have enough coming in to make it really worthwhile. But no, this is probably gangbusters, yeah. So let's take this into consideration. 3,000 people are at this airport. There are 54,000 people in the city. That means about 5%. Let's just round a little bit. Let's say 5% of the entire population is at this airport. That's a lot of people, right? When you really extrapolate, you think about it, like, another really great example is law enforcement, right? If you have the statistics, you could be like, man, this town has 30,000 people in it. And there's enough law enforcement officials for 2% of the population as police. Like, it's like, oh yeah, it's actually used as a training ground for something. So it might make logistical sense, but that's a staggering number. For every 100 people, you have 2 cops, right? And you can see those statistics if you take a look at like city layouts and stuff. It's interesting, I think. That's also a dumpster amount of mail. But this also might be the parcel, small parcel shipping for the town and such. Anyway, very straightforward gameplay. I like it. Well done, Cinder Elm Creek for... Where's your total again? 359 million. I called it 360. Yeah, 360 million. Yeah, well played on that. This can get incredibly stupidly silly and complicated very fast with FIRS, for sure. Should we be saying FIRS sure? FIRS sure it can. Alright, next is Bogus. WTFL Alice. WTFI? WTFI Alice. There's usually a hidden meaning with some of the names. Let's see here. Alice in Wonderland. Alice Cooper. I'll have to think of other Alice things. Let's go take a look at their... Oh, I didn't get their money. 600... Sorry, I got distracted by the name. Let's call it 606 million. Bunch of trains, bunch of road vehicles, and a handful of aircraft. Very nice. I keep clicking on the thing. I want to view their HQ. Very straightforward. Okay. Oh. Very cool. So with this setup, we have for this tournament, the towns could build their own roads. They can expand, they can do whatever. This is not the city builder. So what they did, what Bogus is, they locked them down and they forced them this way around a new airport. This actually looks very visually cool. I like this. They also built a monorail. It's not really a monorail, but like a train system that goes all the way around to promote growth. This is really freaking cool. That's very creative. And because we know in the game rules that towns will expand to 3x3, a player can go and just lock them down at exactly the points that a town will expand. A player can build the roads out for the town. Like, I mean, there's a lot of stuff that can be done, but this actually looks like what I would expect an airport to look like. That's super cool. I like that very much. Yeah, again, this map really facilitates straight lines all the way from A to B, that whole thing. Let's go over their global storybook. Yeah, I don't know why Cinder Elm Creeks didn't work. Either way. Very good growth. Yeah. 50 some million year after year. That's really good. I like that very much. Good cargo, good vehicles, good population, all kinds of good stuff. Yeah, you can just take a quick glance here and you can see year after year how they were continuously improving. Very nice. Yeah, very cool to see people with hundreds of millions of score. So let's see here. Let's take a look at the aircraft. This is most likely going to be just passenger runs. Passengers, yep. The Darwin 300 is a solid choice. It's the Darwin 300, or the other one is the Yates Hugon, which has less capacity but moves 3 times faster. So if you've got less passengers but longer distance, the Yates Hugon could be a very good choice. Let's see here. Yeah, let's get those names back. Alice, Maria. Yep, this comes all the way to Sandra and Steven. Another really nice, well-designed. I think I really can't express how much I really like this. This is so cool. Are there a few others that are also done that way? Yep. The airport is not in the middle of the city. It's pulled out like that. For a design choice, I think that's really cool. Oh, what's all this now? Thanks. John Central, John Transfer. Yeah, nice. You are welcome. Very cool. Oh, and then look they're starting to build into it a bit too. That's cool. Man, that is really, really creative. I can't stress it enough. I'd like to stress it more, but that's awesome. Okay, so we've done the finances, we've done that, we've done the storybook, we've done the aircraft. I'm not too sure if there's anything else I'd like to dig into. Let's grab a couple of train orders. Yeah. Anything super duper fancy here? More of this double, triple-headed stuff, which is really neat. We get a lot of goods. Holy crap. The size of these trains. So I've never seen that before. Front, and then back down here. That's interesting as well. Huh. Very cool. And then this is going to... Oh, right. Oh, my goodness. Okay. Kayla South. Near end. Okay, so we've gone through this a couple of times as well for Bo Gus's run. Let's give it one more take a look. So, train 52. Okay. It's going to go nonstop to Kayla South. This is going to pick up crates of goods. I wasn't done with that, man. You didn't have to close that. This is going to get crates of goods. Go nonstop to nearest train station. Stop. So it's going to go Kayla South. Train station. Stop. Jump to order 5 when load percentage is equal to 0. Go nonstop to Kayla South. Full load any cargo. Okay. So what's happening here, I think, and I could be wrong, what's happening here is this is going and it is picking up. This is crates of goods. Yeah, crates of goods. Okay. I really wish this wouldn't close out, but apparently it's the same window or whatever. So this is going over and over and over and over and over again, getting stuff, right? Asking over. Okay, so actually this will come in, and actually this is going to go this way, the nearest station. What might happen is it might go all the way around and just backfeed to that. Oh, actually, no, it won't. It'll just turn around. The way these stations are set up is once it's in this loop, it's stuck in there. I think, or it could also, no, it could also leave this way. So it'll bounce back and forth, stop station, stop station, stop station, or depot, depot station, depot station. So let's say you have load percentage equal to 0. I'm assuming that means full. Go to here. And then go to here. So we have goods on our thing. This has goods, so that'll drop off. Go nonstop to Yekertina Woods. Jump to order 1 when load percentage is equal to 0. Go nonstop to Yekertina Woods. Go to Sandra Bar. Okay. I think the logic here is what's happening is it's trying to request over and over and over and over and over again stuff. And the way I think that might affect the growth of the production of a facility. Just saying, hey man, I need stuff. Hey man, I need stuff. Hey man, I need stuff. And that keeps the train moving constantly. And the asking for things, I believe it improves the growth. I could be totally wrong about that, but I believe that's how that works. So, anyway, that's about to that. Bo Gus very regularly has this high level of logic. So, from what I've seen, like, everyone else has, like, their own way to do it, right? And it's really cool. That's really the fun of this. And this is why I also ask that people to, hey, man, record your thing, and we can throw it on the YouTubes, and then people can see exactly how the magic, right? How the magic works. But still, very good for Bo Gus. I can't get over how much I really like this. This is so cool. It is so cool. Alright, we're already almost coming on to an hour for a summary video. That's a little nuts. Let's go ahead and hit up, the last one is yours truly. JohnMegacycle, John T. Megacycle Transport. 500 million, dang near flat. Not too bad. Not too bad. 500 mil, I'm happy with that. It's been a while. I actually did my run pretty much immediately. So I actually don't remember a good chunk of what's what. But you can see what I got going on. I'm doing 77 million a year at the very end there. I was pretty happy with that. I never try to, like, get so stressed out to win. I want to have just a good darn time. And I'm really hoping everyone has a good darn time because they keep coming back for more. They keep coming back for more. Alright, shared orders, as you can probably guess, is steel. So here's how I did this. Let's open up the map. Did I do a thank you all? I did. I did do a thanks all. It's a little hard to see, but I did it, and that's all I did about that. So I start off with some passenger stuff. I did have some neat town growth. The main takeaway I did for my run, I mean, much of my stuff is similar to everyone else's, but what I did was I had problems with here. I started with alcohol. And what happened with alcohol is the trains were just getting far, far too much. So I started peeling off individual different networks for everything. So this is using, the alcohol is using the main line. So you can see a main line going around, right? So there's doing that. However, when I was at the point I'm like, I want to start doing steel, I was like, I don't think I should use the same lines at all. We should create some brand new lines. So all these are being pulled into... I actually used Allen Steel Mill. So the raw materials coming in are on their own network. The finished steel going out is on its own network. And that way there wouldn't be any conflict. So if we follow this all the way down to the metal works or the metal shop or whatever the crap it's called, right about here, these lines are just bringing in steel. This is just taking goods. And again, it's its own separate network again. So that's kind of how I broke apart some of the congestion is. I broke it all into its own different things. That means I was running a line almost per function. But I thought like, man, I have so many trains, that probably just works. Especially when it came to the raw materials, I plugged into everything I could. Just to run stuff all the way down. So this is for coal. Yeah, everything's coming down all the way. And that was my money maker as well. Steel to goods to money. I don't really have as nearly high numbers as some of the other folks. Oh, let's talk about how I did farm supplies. I did farm supplies really kind of meh. Right here on Doris Waterside, we have the farm supplies, and then I have 2 trains, or 3 trains or something, and they're just going to every single one and dropping it off. What I have are 2 trains doing this exact run, and I just rotated them out. So one started at Doris to Lisa, the other one started from Doris to Kayla. And I was like, these will eventually just hit each other up. We got more than enough supplies, and that should work out pretty well. Let's just see, for example. Nope. I did not do it cleanly at all. Aircraft would have been the smartest way to do that. But yeah, I didn't get back really to too much when it came to passenger stuff. I threw down some aircraft, and that was kind of the deal of it. So a fairly straightforward run. Passengers, alcohol. I tried to do steel. I tried to do everything, actually, except I don't think I did milk. But I think I did almost everything else, and I was pretty happy about it. But yeah, again, really thick transportation line down the middle or on the outside or whatever. I have some ships bringing fish around. And that's kind of my run. There's not really a lot of thrills. I didn't have like any complex orders. Honestly, that stuff kind of melts my brain pretty hard. But we did get something pretty nice going, and I'm really happy with it. We saw my everything, I think. So that's going to conclude the tournament, I believe. Really another high participation one. Really liked what was going on here. So let's go ahead and talk about the totals. First of all, first place, congratulations go to the dude for 3.5 billion. Second place is CyberCycle for 1.5 billion. Guild Games is third place for 784 million. Bogus, 606 million. JohnMegacycle for 500 million. And Cinder Elm Creek for 360 million. That concludes the summary video for the FIRS tournament. This was, what, October 2024? Yeah, we've had quite a few of these tournaments so far. If you'd like to join one of these tournaments, feel free and check the description of any of the YouTube videos here for the ones that I put out. In it is the invite to the Discord server. Join the Discord server, accept the rules of the server, and yeah, just say you want in, and I'll spin you up a server for the next tournament. We agree and we vote on all of the parameters for the tournament. We also have every player has their own server, and it's password protected. The passwords are random every single time. The links are different. What's in them is different. It's all you have your own instance, and then I can pop in as an admin because I have the passwords, and I can do these summary videos. And now that the summary video is done, I'll release it to everyone and be like, hey, have fun, check out everyone else's stuff, and that's all there is to it. In addition, I always ask that people record their run and upload it to YouTube so we can have it all in one playlist. So you can see my run and whomever's run and the summary video, and it wraps up really nicely. So, thank you all for joining me. My name is JohnMegacycle, and I hope to catch you next time. Hey there, guys, gals, fans, and pals. Thanks for checking out my video. I also want to take a moment to thank all my supporters and donators, and if you'd like to join up with me and game with my crew, all the information to get connected is in the description below. Thanks again, and I hope to catch you next time.